Well, the big elephant in the room is this balance beam here, right? And I'm pretty sure you've never had a pastor preach and do gymnastics at the same time. Am I right? All right. And so if you're freaking out, you probably should. You can start praying for me now because I'm no Olympic specimen. I'm not. But even if I tried, I would skip this because I'm not very good at balancing. In fact, I told my mom about this. They're actually here with me this morning, and she was nervous, very nervous for me. All right. Thank you very much. Now, this is an illustration that I saw from Francis Chan, and I thought it was really appropriate for this morning because it's this idea that in life, as we are Christians and following Jesus Christ, we are kind of like up on a balance beam doing a routine. And if you watch the gymnastics a couple of weeks ago, when they do it, they are working hard to have this firm foundation, to have a solid hold of that balance beam. They're working hard to be balanced in their life, just like we are as we're faithful with Jesus Christ. And there's moments we stand up here and we're like, hey, I can do this. This is awesome. I'm going to live my life for Jesus. I'm not going to hold anything back. And yet then there's moments like right now where you all of a sudden realize you're kind of nervous, and this was a much better idea for an illustration when I was sitting at my desk than now that I'm standing up here. And things come along and it makes you shaky and worried and scared. And instead of going through with the routine, we start saying, no, I'm going to just be safe. I'm going to do whatever I can to be safe. I'm just going to kind of hold on here. You didn't see that. And I'm going to sit down right here, and then slowly but surely we end up kind of in life doing our routine kind of like this. You know what I mean? Sorry about everybody back there. All right. And we are going through life and we're saying, you know what, I want a safe routine, you know? I want to be smooth and comfortable in my life. I want a nice little family with 2.5 kids and a nice house with a white picket fence. Make that a boy, a girl, and I guess the 0.5 would be a dog. And I want a good job, but not something that's going to push me too much, you know, God, and something that asks too much from me. We're going to keep kind of to ourselves. We're going to find a safe house and a safe neighborhood where we can be safe. We're going to have kids in a good, safe, great education school. If we can't find that, we'll homeschool. Don't worry, we'll have them wear helmets everywhere and wrap them in bubble wrap and keep them out of the sun because, the sun, it has bad rays and all, you know. So, and we go through life like this, and we say, you know what, God, I'll follow you, but, you know, don't ask too much of me. I'll go to church, and once the bills are paid and everything, we'll throw a few bucks into the offering, but we're going to keep the doors locked when we drive by that guy who's on the side of the road. And I have kids, and so I'll help out in the nursery because I feel kind of guilty if I don't. And that's the kind of life we go through. And our prayer is that it is as smooth and as fluffy as possible. And our greatest prayer is, God, I know I have to die someday. But when I die, if you would just take me in your sleep. In my sleep, man. If I could just be in the middle of a wonderful dream where everything is so great, and then all of a sudden I could end my routine, and I'd be like, thank you very much. That was a good routine, wasn't it? I got like 10s in the back. It was great. But that's crazy, isn't it? That is not a routine. That is ridiculous. If Gabby Douglas or somebody like that, who would have looked a lot better up here than me, was up here and she got nervous in the middle of the Olympics and said, oh, I'm just going to play it safe, we'd be talking about that for decades, wouldn't we? And all of a sudden we would be thinking about, you know, what are the judges going to give to something like that? Now, please hear me. We know the gospel. We understand the gospel. And what the gospel says is no matter the routine that you have in your life, no matter the life you have lived, we have a God who loves us and accepts us, and a Father and a judge in heaven that's going to have his arms wide open to accept us and receive us. Because our salvation is not found in what we do. It's found in what Jesus has done. But come on. Come on, do you think even though God loves us unabashedly and has accepted us no matter what, that that's the kind of routine he wants for us? I'm sorry, but God's not standing. If that's our routine, he's not standing up there grinning from ear to ear saying, well done, good and faithful servant. And yet, sadly, that is the routine that many of us are on right now. Because we're scared. Because we want to do anything and everything to not be uncomfortable, to not take a risk. That was a risk, by the way, this morning. And so we do what we can to fly under the radar, to be safe. And we end up recluse from this world around us. And you know where it leads us? Completely and totally off mission. Completely. Turn back to Matthew.